What's up everybody, it's Johnny Candido of Candido Training
HQ.
and today's going to be a quick tip video on upper back tightness in the bench press. Now you may have noticed that my bench press has steadily been increasing recently, so some of these tips are what I've been changing and adjusting in my own form as well as just general advice. And the first piece of information is the fact that you should set the rack heights at a height where you can maintain that retracted position with your shoulders to have them retracted and depressed, and that it's low enough so that you don't have to protract your shoulders and lose that tightness, because then once you lose it, it's very difficult or nearly impossible to regain it then once you already have the weight in your hands. A lot of commercial gyms just don't accommodate for varying body types. A lot of times there's only 3 options where you can set the rack height, and if you're in between two, then you're just kind of screwed. You either have to press it essentially out of the bottom, or you have to just have it too far out. The second point when it comes to upper back tightness in the bench press is to consider your grip width and its effect on your ability to maintain the retracted shoulder position and to keep your shoulders depressed. And I'm not going to say specifically what grip width you should have, because this is completely individual to your body type. However, it's something that not a lot of people understand the connection, where they wonder why they're not able to maintain tightness in the bottom position, and they just haven't put much thought into their grip width. They might just put their pinkies on the rings and just have never considered anything beyond that. For me personally, I have a sweet spot where if I go too wide, then it starts to hurt my shoulders. Even though I can keep my upper back very tight, it's just not worth it. But if I go, as I said, if I go too narrow, then I just don't feel as tight in the bottom position and I can't maintain that retracted position quite as well. So it's all about playing around with this and adjusting your technique and observing how you respond to it. My last point is to not just focus on retracting your shoulders, but also focus on depressing them, which I have alluded to earlier in this video. And what I mean by that is to pull your shoulders down. So not only are you pulling your shoulders back, but back and down. And this is a common mistake a lot of people make, where they focus on retraction. That's a pretty common cue to focus on. But then they don't know how to pull their shoulders down, and then how to tuck. You don't need to tuck your elbows extremely to a really big extent, especially if you have a wider grip. But you want some elbow tuck to where typically you're going to touch a little bit lower on your chest than most people do. And usually you'll see this where most people, they start with the bar too high up on their chest before they even start bringing it down. That usually means that you are not depressing your shoulders, because when you depress your shoulders, the bar automatically travels a little bit further down before you even start the movement. Then as you bring it down, it goes even lower, and then that's where you usually find that your lats are very tight in that position. So that's something I've actually learned recently how to apply it, because I was actually starting to feel more comfortable with the bar touching higher on my chest, but I didn't understand how to keep that depressed shoulder position. So I was essentially having an elevated shoulder and trying to touch lower, and then that was just very awkward. So I thought touching higher is more comfortable. But now that I'm doing everything correctly, bringing it lower and keeping my shoulders depressed, this is by far the best position for me, and it's why I personally believe I'm progressing now at a way faster rate than I was before. So that's it guys, I hope this quick tip video was helpful. Make sure to like the video, support the channel, subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks for watching guys. Peace!
Biggie died, they shot a star. Who you know in West LA? Bring that ruckus to MA. Jeez.